Well, Americans might have made American Sniper the #1 movie in America, but to hear Michael Moore tell it, they're glorifying the wrong guys. The director taking to Twitter to write, "My uncle killed by sniper in World War II. We were taught snipers were cowards. We'll shoot you in the back. Snipers aren't heroes, and invaders are worse." My next guest wonders whether Moore saw the same movie she did. Debbie Lee's son was a Navy SEAL on Chris Kyle's team and lost his life in Iraq, the first Navy SEAL to lose his life there, and was a prominent character in this movie. Debbie Lee, very good to have you. Michael Moore now says he was not talking about this movie, but about snipers in general, even comparing it to the sniper who gunned down Martin Luther King. What do you make of all that?
You know, one thing, he mentions cowards, and I think that definitely probably is something he recognizes in his own character, because these are men and women that are willing to give their lives for you, for me, for the freedoms that we enjoy every day. And a hero is someone who would sacrifice their life. I don't think Michael Moore is willing to sacrifice anything for you or for me, and I would gladly meet him at any of the sniper schools and have him even just watch, let alone go through himself and see if that's something he could do, because these are the best that we have in America, that are making sacrifices, that are saving lives. When you watch the movie, we don't even have a total for the lives that Chris saved by his heroic actions. And those could be even terrorists that are going to come over here and attack our country again, that are keeping him safe. And the freedoms that he enjoys every day are paid for by our men and women in the military who serve and who sacrifice greatly, and are some of the most courageous men and women that I know. My son willingly gave his life for Michael Moore to have the freedoms to say what he has, but he really needs to recheck what his comments are when he starts coming on our troops.
Do you ever look at the different vibes you get out of Hollywood on movie violence per se, which is it's a standard feature in all movies, yet movie violence is actually based on real events that took your son away and later Kyle away, and wonder whether they're even watching what they're saying or doing?
Well, sometimes you wonder when they do look at a movie. It's like your opening comment, did he watch the same movie I watched? Because this is the reality for our men and women in the military. This is what they live every day. And I think that is what is one of the main takeaways. I know Chris was like a son to me. I know that's what he would want people to take away from this movie, is the sacrifices that our men and women make. The choices when they're in combat. It's not just some video game where they just start popping targets down. They have choices. They think through their decisions. They think through their consequences. They make sure when they take someone out, this has to be confirmed. Someone else has eyes on the target as well. And to know the sacrifices that are made, to know the sacrifices the families make back at home, and then to make sure when our troops come back home that we are there to support them. We're there to take care of them physically, emotionally, whatever they need. They have been at war for over a decade and have sacrificed greatly, and it's our responsibility to take care of them. And that's part of what we're doing at America's Mighty Warriors. We're carrying on for Chris. We're carrying on for Mark. Chris's motto was to serve those who served us, and Mark ends his last letter home with, "To my family and friends, do me a favor, pass on the kindness, the love, the precious gift of human life." These are our men and women who serve. This is their character. They are some of the toughest men I know, but some of the most compassionate men I know.
Debbie, was this a tough movie for you to watch? And you have a part in it. But how was it for you?
It was very emotionally tough. Probably the toughest movie that I've ever had to watch. The reality of watching the character who portrays my son in the movie get shot, reliving that funeral, knowing I was at Chris Kyle's funeral. I spoke at his funeral.
Right.
As I said, he became like a son to me. So watch that final footage of the funeral, of the procession. It was heart-wrenching. But I am so very proud of these two young men and the sacrifices that they made for our freedom. I am honored that their story continues to be told, and it's not just Chris's story, it's not just Mark's story. This story is to highlight the sacrifices of all of our veterans who served and given so much, and their families. And I can tell you, Neil, it is the most bizarre thing to see your child's name on a granite wall.
Oh my gosh.
Or in a movie or on a book.
I can't imagine. I can't
heroes,
imagine, Debbie. But you speak eloquently and bravely. I can't top that, and I won't. We'll have more after this.